Hi everybody, welcome to another Taubmans live colour advice session. My name is Fiona, I'm the Taubmans colour specialist, and we are here this evening for another session to talk all about our wonderful colours. We've got a wonderful portfolio of products which have been designed to protect and beautify your space, and I'll be very happy to share some insights to those, and also to help you if you're embarking on a renovation and you've got some queries, questions, and you'd like some tips and tricks. We're here to assist you. So I'm going to let you know how our session rolls. So for the first half an hour, I'm on screen in front of the camera and we are streaming live, and it is a fantastic opportunity for you to upload any questions that you do have. So, as I said, about our products, etc. Sorry, I'm just making sure we're live. I'm just seeing we here. So just before I get right into my spiel, we are live. Fantastic. I can relax now. It's a fantastic opportunity for you to upload any questions that you do have, and we do our very best to answer them live for you. And we know that you love to share images or pictures of your home or area that you're wanting some help with. You can do that, but unfortunately, while we're streaming, you can't upload photos into Facebook. So once we finish streaming, I generally sit behind the computer, so not in front of the camera, but behind the computer for a further half an hour or so to answer all of the other questions that we have, and also to then view the images that you have. So it's fantastic. That's how we run these sessions. And generally what we do each and every week is we look through our social media feed and we pick up the most frequently asked questions, so the reoccurring questions that are asked by all of you. And we like to bring them to life because we really like to keep our sessions real. So I do have in front of me quite a few questions here, and I'm going to kick off this evening with a couple of questions that were popped into the post. So the post on social media, sorry, not the post. Anyhow, I'm going to start. So I'm going to start with Joanne's question. Thank you, Joanne, for popping your question into our feed. So you're saying, hi Fiona, and she has put an image in prior. Hi Fiona, what colour do you suggest for the timber pickets and roof beams? Beams are currently a terracotta colour as pictured, and looking at the colour that ties together with bricks and woodland grey roof and guttering. Your help would be much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, thanks Joanne. So looking at the image, just to give you a visual at home, the bricks are a very light sort of terracotta, soft sort of, going into those sort of orangey sort of tones, and you've got woodland grey. So I'd suggest let's incorporate something that's a little bit more neutral, and I think you could find a beautiful soft neutral that's going to pair back really well with the brick, and then also woodland grey. And so woodland grey tends to have, woodland grey, for those that don't know, is a colour-bond colour. It tends to have it's defined as a grey, but it has a little bit of a green undertone. And when you look at greys, they can be categorised, if you like. So just to give you a quick rundown on greys, you've got a blue-based grey, which is what we probably all traditionally think of when we think of grey. Then you have a grey that has a purple or red base. So it's quite, if it's got that red, it can tend to be a little bit warmer. And then obviously if it's going into more purpley, it depends where it sits on the spectrum, whether it's going to be warm or cool. Then you've got grey, which is a grey that has a brown undertone. And then you've got a grey that has a green undertone. And so the grey that has the green undertone, can be defined as a neutral, if you like. So when you're looking at greys, starting somewhere that has that sort of greeny undertone, that neutral undertone, is a really good place to begin, because any colour that tends to have that neutral undertone will pair back really well with many, many elements. So having said that, and knowing that we have woodland grey, and I'll just show you for those that don't know what woodland grey looks like. Where are we? Probably won't be able to see much of it on the screen, but that's what woodland grey is. And I'm thinking of, because we already have the terracotta, so those sort of orangey tones, of going for something quite neutral. And I'm thinking of a colour called Brimstone Smoke. Of course, I can't find it when I need it. It's always the way. Or actually, we could go for that one as well. Let's have a look here. Where are we? 31. Okay, so there's a couple of ways we could go here. So I'm just going to pop So there's woodland grey, there is brimstone smoke above that. They pair back really, really beautifully, and they're going to sit really well with sort of terracotta tones. So that is one way you could go, and the other way as well, there's another colour here as well called Bellum Smoke. A little bit lighter, probably more. It's probably got a little bit more ochre in it, and that sits beautifully again with woodland grey, and that's going to look fantastic paired back with your terracotta sort of tones. So that would be the way I would go, Joanne. If you've got any further questions, please pop something else into the feed. I'll be very happy to assist you. Okay, I've got a few questions coming in now. It's so muggy here. I'm dying here. Just bear with me. It's very, very warm in my office. Okay, so I've got a question from Sue. Sue, thank you very much for joining us. So you're saying you would like to learn how to turn brown wood bedroom dresser and side tables into white. Okay, so that's a really good question, and everybody seems to be upcycling furniture. We have a product, so you're going to ensure that you're going to need to ensure that you use a product that has stain blocking properties that's going to lock in. If you've got dark wood, it can leach tannin. If you've got dark wood that's been, say, coated in a varnish or it's got a finish on it, again, that can kind of leach tannin again. And especially if you're going over the top, and I'm going to recommend like a water-based enamel to finish the product or to finish the system off. But the first thing I'm going to recommend is there's a product, and I'm going to see if I can get it up on our screen. Let me just see here. Here we go. So if you go, I probably should take you back and share my screen. Where are we? Let's hope this works. I haven't done this for a while, so it might be, oh yeah, good. I was going to say I might be a little bit rusty here, and I'll pop myself up in the corner. And hopefully, oh yeah, that's worked. Wonderful. Okay. So if you go to www.taubmans.com.au, which is our fantastic website, and you'll see that we have some easy to navigate sort of drop down menus. So you've got a world of colour at your fingertips there, and then if I go to the next menu, you can see what makes it really fantastic if you are embarking on a particular project, and you can visit the website, look where it says products, and it's grouped by almost by project, if you like. So, you know, if you're doing something where you need a prep product, if you're looking for an exterior project and you're wanting the products, interior, etc., doors and trim, ceiling. So it helps you to navigate the area where you're going to need a specific product for. So but this time we're going to go to prep paints. Some fantastic products there. And the one I would recommend is this one here, which is Taubmans Fast Drying Stain Blocker. Let me see if I can. Okay, so it is a shellac-based stain blocker. So it's going to lock in tannins, which is what you want. So you could use that. And then I would recommend the next product. Let me just have a look here. I'll take you to our doors and trim paints. And I'm going to show you our water-based enamel. And then I would recommend going or finishing off your furniture with a water-based enamel. Now, a water-based enamel is fantastic. So when we're talking about an enamel, it's a really hard wearing paint, which is what you want if you're, so if you think about internally at home, your doors and trims, etc., would be done in something like this, so that it, especially like your skirting boards, you know, your kids are banging things into the skirting boards, etc. You want a product on areas that are high, I suppose, hard wearing, high wear areas, especially that are going to receive knocks, etc. You want something that's going to perform really well. This is the product I would recommend, and I would also, as I just said a moment ago, recommend it for furniture. I would also, the fantastic other thing about it is if you're wanting to keep, if you're selecting a white and you're wanting it to stay true to colour and stay really lovely and bright and white, a water-based enamel is non-yellowing. And the other benefits are, look, it's been endorsed by Sensitive Choice, so anybody that suffers from asthma allergies, safe to use it. And it's very low VOC, so it has minimal smell. So it's nothing like the old traditional oil-based enamels that, you know, would be painted a long drying timer and then sort of that lingering smell, and you could tell that, you know, painting had been done even a few months afterwards. So that would be the product I would recommend, Sue, so that you can bring to life or upcycle your furniture. I hope that helps. If there's any further questions, pop something else into the feed. Very happy to help. I'll come off camera now. We'll come back. Fantastic, that worked. Beautiful. All right, so what else do I have here? Okay, hi Courtney, thank you very much for joining us. So you're saying, I was in the UK and loved colours from Little Green Paint Company. They aren't stocked in Australia. Can you colour match from a chart? If you do have a colour chart, if it's paint deposited, we can certainly use a spectrometer, so scan and then create a match for you. If it's an image, we can certainly create colour for you from an image using technology that we have, which is called Colorsmith. And you are welcome to, you can hop onto the App Store, you can download the app, which is Colorsmith by Taubmans. And within it, it's very, very easy to use, but within the app itself, you have the ability to upload an image, and from that, you can scan a little, when you pop it into the app itself, and then you're saying, you know, create from match, it creates, I guess what happens on the screen is a little circle or eye appears on the screen. You can move that over the image until you find the color that you like, and then from that you can create a paint color. So we do have ways to certainly help you with that, Courtney. There's a few ways you can go about it. You can pop, if you've got an image of it that you're wanting help with, you can pop it into the feed and I'd be happy to help create a color for you. Or the other way is if you've got an actual color chart, you can take that into one of our Taubmans professional paint stores, or even go into a Bunnings and have it scanned, and then we can create a formula for you and a match. I hope that helps. If you've got any further questions, pop something into the feed and I'll be very happy to help you. Thank you. Hi Amanda, thank you very much for joining us. Is it best to keep the walls and trims the same colour? Very good question. So it depends on how you want it to look. So when you, okay, let's just, what's the best way to tackle this? Okay, if you've got a small room or a small space and you're wanting it to appear larger, if you do your walls, ceiling, doors and trims in the same color, but obviously you would need to use a product that is applicable for purpose. So for example, if you're using on a ceiling, we generally recommend a flat paint, and the reason we recommend flat on a ceiling is it prevents glancing light, and it also helps to, if you've got any imperfections, it helps to hide the imperfections. And then on your walls, you would use something like you can use a matte finish, or you can use a low sheen. Low sheen tends to be the most popular choice for finish on walls. And then for your doors and trims, as I just went through before, something like a water-based enamel. And you can do that in a gloss, semi-gloss, whatever you prefer for your sheen level. So I think that if it's a small space and you're wanting to create the illusion of more space, using that one color and using it on all surfaces if you like, so on your walls and your doors and trims, looks fantastic. And it helps to create or make the space feel larger. If you have a large space and you're wanting to define the walls and bring the wall color to life, then you can almost frame it up by using a different color. So for example, if you're using a wonderful warmer neutral on the walls, and then on your doors and trims, you're wanting that bright white, which will really sort of bring to life the color on the wall. So it depends on what you prefer. And a lot of people, I'll be honest, a lot of people do tend to generally do their doors and trims in the same color as the wall. So yeah, personal preference. Either or works really, really well. I guess it's just to take into consideration if you're wanting to make the space or using colour to create the illusion of more space, or to, you know, frame up your wall colour, etc. So I hope that helps. Pop something else into the feed and I'll be very happy to, you know, talk further or give you some more advice on that. Thank you. I don't know. Oh, thanks, Natalie. She's saying, not sure if anyone else is having trouble with the video working. I've just got the spinning circle. I seem to be working in here, I believe. Let me just have a look and make sure we're streaming. Everything's good. I think we're all good. If anybody else is having issues, please let us know. Maybe, Natalie, you might be having a few internet issues. Maybe just close the app on your phone and then perhaps try to reopen it and see if it's streaming for you any better. Thanks. Oh, hi, Courtney. Thank you for your question. So you're saying, okay, fantastic. I've just been told it's all working perfectly. That's good. That's good to know. Thank you. Okay, so you're saying, sorry, can you paint over timber laminate flooring? It's currently 80s orange and I'd like it to be an ash color. Look, Courtney, that's probably not, I don't believe that I would have a suitable product that I could recommend here and now for a laminate flooring finish, allowing you to paint over it. What I can do though, Courtney, is to, once we finish, if you want to send us a private message, I'd be very happy to check with technical and see if there's anything else within our portfolio of products that would be suitable. But yeah, as far as I would know, I don't believe we'd have anything sort of within our architectural product range. But please feel free to shoot us a message and I'm very happy to talk to technical. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Keith. It's all good working from your end as well. Thank you very much. Okay. Hi, Alicia. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. So your question is, what internal white wall colour would suit if there's outside greenery? Something modern and won't age. Okay, I guess the other thing to think about is how much of that outside greenery sort of reflects internally and then has the potential to change, you know, the tone of the internal wall. I'm sort of thinking out loud here. You know, if you're wanting a lovely internal white that's going to be fantastic for all areas within the home. So generally, you know, sometimes when we're looking at whites, excuse me, if you've got a house that's drenched in natural sun, you can, or the rule of thumb can be, I guess, using a cooler toned white works really, really well. And then if you've got areas that lack a lot of natural light, using something that's slightly warmer works really, really well. And the reason something warmer works really well is it tends to warm the space up. If you use a cooler toned white in an area that lacks light, it can potentially look really grey and sort of uninviting. So that's kind of how we tend to think about whites when we're thinking about spaces. However, for a fantastic white that's going to suit all areas, so it doesn't matter whether you've got an area that's, you know, drenched in a lot of natural sun or something that lacks a lot of light, I would recommend a colour that we have which is called crisp white. Now for those that have watched and that generally join a lot, they'll know that would be the colour that I would recommend. My go-to colour of choice, crisp white, is the top colour here. It is the most fabulous white. It is some whites have a tendency to look, can create, I'm going to say, a sterile environment. And it's something that I've heard, you know, quite a lot. However, I think that crisp white, because of what goes in it. So when you select, let's just say Taubmans Endure, and you select Taubmans Endure white base, it has brilliant white is the color that's in there. So it's a fantastic white, and what makes it so white is that the base, if you like, or the paint itself contains a high amount of titanium dioxide, which gives you this beautiful white to begin with. And then what we do is we start to add variants of tints. And, you know, some whites will have tints like red, black, even a little bit of blue. Some whites just have black, and all the different variants create, you know, variances of white. So when you open up a color chart and you look at the varying whites, that's how we get them all. Crisp white has a tint in it which is called raw umber. Now when you look at raw umber in the tint jar, if you like, in its canister, it looks like a murky brown. It's a very uninviting color. But however, when it's put into our white base and it creates the most beautiful white that has a really soft sort of glow to it, and it's my white of choice. I think it is a very versatile, fantastic white. It's not too stark if you're wanting to use it on every surface within your space, because of that raw umber. So it's just got this beautiful soft warmth. Well, it's not even a warmth, it's just got a soft glow. I wouldn't say it's a warm white. It just has a soft glow. It sort of sits on that neutral sort of space. And it's fantastic, and it pairs back beautifully with so many colors, and I think it's going to work really, really well given that you have a lot of greenery, and it's a modern sort of tone. And I can guarantee that in 10 years down the track, if I were still doing live color, I would probably still be talking about crisp white. It's sort of the color, it's our white, and I guarantee it's going to be here to stay because of how versatile and beautiful it is. So that would be the white of choice. That is what I would recommend for you. Alicia, if you've got any further questions, please pop something else into the feed. Very happy to help. Okay, Joanne, thank you very much for joining us. So is Miss Universe cool? Is Miss Universe cool, or I don't think it's eating. I think there's a... Is Miss Universe cool? I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not sure what the rest implies, but yes, Miss Universe I would define as cool. Excuse me, because of the, as I was just mentioning and talking about the variants of tints that go into our white base and create the wonderful whites that we have on offer. Miss Universe has a little bit of black in it, so it tends to be on that cooler side. It's a fantastic white, and I think it pairs back and looks wonderful for, you can use it as an all-over facade for sure, internal areas, sorry. You can also use it for your doors and trims, and it works really, really well if you want something that's, you know, that's brighter, sharper, against other, say, neutrals, etc. So yeah, it's a fantastic color, but it tends to sit on the, okay, sorry. Yeah, it tends to sit on the cooler side. I hope that helps. Thanks. What else do I have here? Okay, hi Diane, thank you very much for joining us. So you're saying, can you please assist me in colour for outside render, please? It's located not far from the beach. There's a front gable with 2 columns in the front. PS, not sure how to load a photo to this. Okay, Diane, once we finish streaming, at 8:30, then it gives you the ability to upload a photo into our feed, and it will give you, there should be a little camera icon, and you'll be able to do that just while we're streaming. Unfortunately, it's very difficult, or it's actually not possible to load photos while we're live. The other option for you, Diane, is to send the photo in to us via DM, and we've got a technical team that are sort of in the back end as well. They will be able to assist and sort of shoot the image through to me to have a look. But the other question I'll ask you, Diane, so when I look at creating an exterior color scheme, and this applies to anybody, it's important to sort of take in all the elements that are going to feature. So for example, what color is your roof? What color are what color is your roof, your guttering and fascia? What about your garage door and your window frames? I think that's really important, because from that we can then build a color palette from. And also, are there, and I mentioned, you've mentioned that you've got 2 columns in the front, etc. Is there any feature stone or anything like that as well that we need to take into consideration, the tones that exist within that? So if you can let me know a little bit more as well, I'll be very happy to help you with a color scheme. I think, yeah, it's really important when you're looking at doing exterior schemes, taking all of that into consideration. And also, and I know Diane's already told us that she's not far from the beach, so, you know, I'm imagining, a coastal style color scheme. But, you know, if you are living in a rural or bush setting, etc., it's important to understand sort of what surrounds, so the house can sort of sit well within its environment. So it's taking into consideration the other elements and then your surrounds, and then we can build from that a color scheme. Oh, thank you, Krista. Thank you very much for joining us. So you're saying, hi, Fiona. I just wanted to thank you for the great colour help last year. Finally finished painting and love it. That's fantastic. We love to hear that. Love to see, I'd love to see some images of how it has all turned out. I can't get my words out tonight. My goodness. I would love it if you'd love to share some photos with us. It'd be exciting to see how it's all turned out, the end result, etc. As I was just saying before, while we're streaming, can't pop any photos in because impossible to upload. However, we'll finish streaming at 8:30. You can pop something into the feed, or if you want to share with me, Krista, please feel free to even sort of DM, so direct message it to us, and it'll certainly get to me, and I'll be very excited to have a look at how it's all turned out for you. Let me see what else I have here. Stuart, thanks. You're giving us a comment saying that interior colour scheme, whisper white walls and skirting boards with doors and frames in Colorbond shale grey is beautiful. I can imagine that. That would be very striking. Oh, what else have I got here? Okay, so Emily, thank you for joining us. You're saying that you're going with Lexicon White and you want the trims to be a green grey. What do you think? For sure, a Lexicon White tends to be a cooler white, so a green grey would look lovely. What sort of level or what sort of depth of green grey are you after? And are you doing an internal scheme or are you looking for an external colour scheme? If you let me know a little bit more, I'd be very happy to offer you some colour suggestions. Thanks. What else have I got? Oh, thanks, Diane. So your gutters and windows are monument and your roof is black and you're wanting a coastal colour scheme. Okay, are you wanting let's see what we can come up with before we conclude our session. So you've got monument, excuse me, so we've got monument and we've got black. So for anybody that's watching at home, they're the two colours. And then are you wanting, given that it's a coastal home, are you wanting you could go, and these look really nice together. You could go for something like gazebo white. That's going to give you that whiter, lighter coastal aesthetic. Or we could take it down a notch. So that first colour was called gazebo white. We could go down one, which is called Eagle Crest. And which is that colour there, and they look beautiful. Now, the rule of thumb, and here's something for everybody to take into consideration. When you put your colours in an external application or externally, and especially whites, they tend to, I use the analogy or the phrase, they tend to bleach out, so they lighten up. And sometimes they can lighten up to around about, look 30% lighter. So when looking for light or white colours to be placed outside, it's important to understand how they're going to look in your environment and understand that given that they will lighten up, perhaps having a white that has a little bit more substance or a little bit more tint to it is going to let's just say play or work better in an external application. So I always look for colours being whites that have just a little bit more depth, knowing that when they are put outside, they are really going to lighten up. So I think those two tones that I recommended will look lovely. You could also go the other way, given that it's coastal, and look for a very soft sort of grey, which I think would work really, really well. Let me just have a look here. Maybe something. Just getting the right tone. Greys can be tricky. As I said before, there's so many variants to greys. And we want to make sure that we have something that has, actually that would be really nice. Here we go. It's a colour called Grey Stone, which looks beautiful with your monument, and also, oops, let me just pop that back up there, with black as well. That pairs back lovely. So something like that is going to also work in a coastal environment and give you sort of that wonderful coastal aesthetic if you're wanting something with a little bit more colour as opposed to just sort of a white look. But let me know, Diane, I'll be very happy to take this offline and then answer some further questions for you into the feed, because we have finished streaming. And thank you, Linda. I can see your question here. Would love some help with an exterior and interior colour scheme for a 2-story terrace, woodland grey roof and gutters, thanks. I am going to take that offline and I'll answer that for you in a moment. So we've finished streaming. Thank you very much to everybody for joining us this evening, and thank you very much for all of your questions. If you do have any further questions, I will be not in front of the camera, but I will be online for a further half an hour or so, to continue answering your questions. I really am having trouble talking tonight. So yeah, don't go away. Happy to continue the conversations here, but thank you very much for joining us. Join us again next week, same time, same place. And until then, everybody stay safe. And as I always say, happy painting. Thanks very much. Bye.